Good evening. It is Saturday night, and the moon is right. Let's have some fun. Show them how it's done. TGIS. Mwah. Sorry about that. I've been listening to a lot of Welcome to Night Vale the last couple of weeks. Re-listening to the entire series. How is everybody doing tonight? It is Saturday night. It's 8 o'clock. Let's doodle some doodling. I think if no one has any objections, I'm just gonna start off with working on a coloring book page or something, maybe. Something simple and easy. Like a llama doing something. Let's do a llama drawing. Llama duck. Ooh, what if we did a llama selling ducks? If we hadn't already used an Idris on the lemonade stand. Got any oranges? Is the llama good? Llama's good. We're on the letter L, is what I'm saying here. And I've got a list of animals whose names start with the letter L. And some of them are really obvious. Leopard, lemur, lion, lemming. Lobster, ladybug. Leatherback sea turtle, although I feel like that's a T. Llama, lynx, lizard, leafcutter ant. Leech, liger, Labrador retriever, lamprey, lionfish, locust, limpet. Lorelini, loris, labradoodle, lake sturgeon, long-eared owl. And I feel like llamas are the most fun of all those animals. And it's also the most fun to say llama duck. So I think I'm gonna go with llama. And llama needs a profession or a hobby. A profession or a hobby. That's what we do in this coloring book. We give them a profession or a hobby. And sometimes it's alliterative and sometimes it is not. It does not have to be alliterative. It just has to be fun. That's the golden rule. We do everything for the fun around here. So let's see. Llama. If I just start by drawing in like a big fuzzy llama face. Doesn't really fit the rest of the coloring book. I have no idea. I'm not prepared for this stream at all. I took a nap after the market. Yeah, probably shouldn't have. All right. So I'm actually gonna turn it off. Let's turn off Kansas reduction. I like it actually better when you guys can see my whole fresco system here. Let's say we can do a llama. Dung beetle collecting soap was going to be hard to beat. You know what I think would be fun to draw, though? This just popped into my head. I think it would be extraordinarily cute. It would be a llama who is a professional bowler. A bowling llama. So, 2. Sketching a little bowling alley scene here real fast. I want this to be off center. So let's kind of do that. Freaking internet Explorer. Edge. Why are you gonna be so slow? And that means these would be like seats to wrap around, because that's how bowling alleys work. Maybe another one over here. Let me go with a llama concentration face here. Come on. Open the freaking browser so I can get a reference image of a llama. I want to make sure I know the difference between a llama and an alpaca. It's important to know the differences between llamas and alpacas. Alright, llamas are fuzzies. Boop. So, which one of these llamas looks like he's about to go bowling? Or she's about to go bowling? I can't physically tell the difference between a male llama and a female llama by looking at their face. But I can tell which one looks like they're about to go bowling. Llamas are much bigger than alpacas, by the way. Alright, so. Bring down a little nose. Like this. And I feel like this llama, although this llama is generally woolly because it's a llama, it's a bowling llama. So I'm going to go out of my way to make the fur on the back of the llama head look a little bit like a mullet. That's the goal there. Llama neck. Coming down here into a bowling shirt. Ooh. That's what I'm going to look up bowling shirt. I have this image in my head, but I don't know if it's accurate or not because it's been a very long time since my parents were in a bowling league, and I've personally never been in a bowling league. That is too close to actually having some sort of athletic ability for me. So maybe something like this. And then the stripes, little short sleeves here. We're going to put the ball here. So we'll have, no, that's not a good place. We'll put the ball here. Put this a different color. Have one arm like this. This arm comes over here. Like that. And then, of course, furry bottom bit there. And should have drawn this on a separate layer for my background. Legs coming up here. So down to the little hooves. Just spacing in some eyes for a rough shape. There we go. That's not too extraordinarily terrible. I mean, it's not good, but it could be worse. So let's fix it. Let's refine it. We'll grab the clean sketching brush. Add to reinstall Fresco on my iPad the other day, not because of anything like wrong with Fresco, other than, and this is apparently an Apple issue more than an Adobe issue. As much as I would like to blame Adobe for it, the local storage files, Fresco stores all of its files in the cloud, but it'll do local storage files while you're working, like the working files are stored locally. And it deletes them from the working memory, but Apple will sometimes store them in its cache on the iPad and not delete them. And it eats up the memory. When you work in the file sizes I do, that eats up the memory of your iPad really fast. Squinted, like, concentration eyes here is what I'm going for. And this alpaca mullet. Like so. Coming down. Little furry neck. And actually, this neck fur on the top is backwards. Be like this. Like wearing a sweater underneath their bowling shirt. Ball here. With little alpaca hooves. That should also be furry. Woolly. Not alpaca. Llama. Llama. Come down this little bowling shirt. Left arm. Here. There we go. That's looking better. Looking better in my opinion. We're getting there. We got work to do. But we're making progress. Come down here. Put these stripes on the bowling shirt. Little buttons. And then we'll come in and do furry, woolly legs all the way down. Little llama wool legs. Like so. And then, of course, little hooved feet. I probably should double check that if llama have cloven hooves or not. I think they have like camel type feet. Yeah, they have little toe points, like sheep. So this is perfect. Especially if we bring these over here in front of the ball. And then because no fingers and thumbs, we can put the bowling ball holes there to show that, like, this professional bowling llama is at a, like, disadvantage in the professional bowling world. Like, it has its work cut out for it. But there we go. There's our llama. And like I said, I will take the background image, a little bigger, and cut out the rough llama sketch here. We don't need it anymore. We'll do a separate little layer here. This, except for this, needs to be moved down because that llama is not allowed to stand in the lane. Obviously, llamas can't stand in the lane while they're bowling. You can't stand in the bowling lane while you're bowling. That's against the rules. So I'll do that. The little gutters. It's been a long time since I went bowling. Got the little score table. And there's a little bench seat here. Kind of wraps around like so. It's been long enough since I went bowling that the last time I went bowling, well, that's not true. I was gonna say last time I went bowling, you could smoke in the bowling alley still, but that's not entirely true. I've been bowling one time since then. Just a little background. I'll add stuff to the background later. Also, I like working on backgrounds separately of everything else I do. All right, so collapse that down. Now let's do some inking. Inking time for our llama. Readjust everything in my chair. Move down here. I think I'm going to start by inking the hands, or the little llama paws. Anyway. I'm in here. I'm just going to really play up the curl on the fur. So, even as it is, there's going to be people who are like, this is an alpaca, not a llama. You know, like, I did my best to make them different. Make it not an alpaca, but you're lucky it's not just a camel with a sweater on. And then I think the neck is a nice reference so that I can come in here and do like the collar of the bowling shirt. And that gives me a reference to be able to do that, not have the shoulder and the arm, basically. I can come in here and do the shoulder. So, I think this needs to be a thicker line. Like that. There we go. See, we're making progress now. And we'll come over here. I think I'm actually going to box off this nose a little more, make it a little bigger. A little flatter. Yeah. Drawing the eyes real fast. That lets me. Do that. Wow. Wow. And then you know what I just realized? I need to look and see. Oh, llamas have solid black eyes. That makes life easier. I was like, do llamas have eyes like goats? That's an important question. Because goats have square pupils. And llamas apparently have elongated pupils. They do have kind of goat-like eyes. That's interesting to me. They're not quite square. They're more like a long rectangle shape. When I do a zoom in image here, I'll show you guys. So you look at these images here, and they've got like this rectangular eye almost. So that's cool. That's a cool thing to know. Llamas don't quite have goat eyes, but they have goat-related eyes. And then, of course, the entire reason we think goats are creepy is because of their creepy eyes. And also the fact that they're creepy. People who like goats are kind of weird. And you can take that to the bank. Ear rough like that. And then bring out that llama. Beautiful llama hair. God. There's a right way and a wrong way to do this. So I'm going to mark. So now all of my lines, if we trace them back, will basically point to that spot. That's the idea anyway. Oops. And that's just a thing I learned about hair, is that basically most people in general have a spot on their head where their hair like angles back towards it more or less. A little fun fact for you. So we're just going to pretend that's there on all of this hair. And so basically we would be able to just like, the nice thing about vector trimming is that we could come in and do actually point that all the way out and redry, but we're not going to worry about it too much because we want a nice sweet llama mullet. You know, sweet llama mullet. That's a great name for a cowpunk band. If you wanna start a cowpunk band, you can have the name Sweet Llama Mullet. I will gladly give you that name. Also, send me a link to your demo. I will check it out. If you give me permission, I'll even play it on the stream. I like to support small artists in whatever endeavor they might be a part of. So, all right, we're just going to. What if I did this from the action? I'm a furry llama, and I am going bowling. All right, our first Adobe hang up freeze up of the night. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Comes back to the wrong color ink. That's still could have been worse. All right. Oop. And there we go. Vector trimming is such a good tool. How could you not abuse it? You just got to abuse the crap out of vector trimming. It's like the key to my art. Thicken these lines up quite a bit. I thinned them down a lot versus the other arm. And that's the thing, is like, I don't do overly thick lines in my normal illustration, but I've chosen to do a lot thicker lines in the line art for this coloring book. So sometimes, a lot of times, I'm going back and going, oh man, I have to really thicken these lines to make it match the other illustrations. Which, in the grand scheme of like things that you have to fix in editorial design, not the worst by far. I mean, you can just take the layer and just add outline to it to thicken lines if you really want to. Like, that is one way of doing it. And then we better come over here. There we go. All right, this is looking pretty good. Definitely looking like a llama that's gone bowling. So that's the important part, is that it looks like a llama going bowling. And I think people will have fun coloring it in. That's the other piece of the puzzle here, is would people have a fun time coloring this picture? And I think they would. I think they would have a good time doing it. So something I just decided as a spur of the moment decision just now, I'm not going to draw in the stripes. Oh, no, I do need to. You're not coloring this in. This is a coloring book. It's going to be black and white. I was going to say, I'm not going to draw in the stripes on the bowling shirt. I'll do those with lineless color lines. And honestly, I probably could get away with that and let the people who are coloring the coloring book pick those lines and do whatever design pattern they want. And that's fine. I could do that. But I think it'll be easier on them if I put the lines in. But I was like, I'm going to do this color. And then I was like, no, you're not going to do the color. You aren't involved in the coloring of this coloring book at all. Other than if you print your own version, print yourself one and color it in. The furry legs. I draw a lot of animals that are going full-blown poo. I don't know what it is about us as a society that we decided that animal people are totally okay topless. Or they're not okay topless, but they totally have to wear, they can go without pants. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying is our censorship of cartoons is arbitrary and illogical. I am one of those people who likes to point out that Donald Duck runs around with no pants on all the time. But if you ever see him get out of the shower in a cartoon, he's always covering the lower half of his body with a towel. All right. Bowling llama. And I'm actually going to resize you up a bit, bowling llama. And then we can just not even worry about this, actually. Let's add one thing I do like to do. So I don't color these in like I would normally, but I do something very similar. And then I create duplicate the layer. and create what is basically a color layer, but I color all of the illustration in white. And the reason I started doing this is it made the what's the word I'm looking for here? The background process easier. I didn't have to, I could just draw the background and then just put this black and white character over the top of it. And I was like, it's cheating with layers. It's what layers are for. It just makes the whole process faster. This is really what it comes down to. So there's our llama. Another thing this lets me do is if I decide I need to thicken the outlines again, I can do that without having to worry about too much about going over the lines because I can do underneath. Grab this brush and just come underneath and behind and, you know, close things in like that, which I might do, actually. Looking at it, it could probably use that in some places. So also these eyes. There we go. There we go. All right. I can turn him off or her off. I can turn the llama off and then do our background. Do the background art. So we'll just come over here. Up. So this is actually foreground art, if I'm being honest. That. And that's our little gutter ball gutter there. Crossed here. August. Actually, this. And this is like that little ridge between two lanes. Nope. There you go. It's been so long since I've been bowling. I'd love to go bowling. There's a bowling alley here in town, in my little tiny town. I could go bowling here. So there we go. There's that, and then we'll come back here. Like I said, this is actually foreground, so we'll move it to the foreground. And then we'll do a background layer, and we'll draw in these little benches. Like so. Oops, more flat. Do that curve. Working without a reference image here. I don't like working without reference images. I'll tell you this. Reference images are helpful and useful, and they make things look better. And anyone who tells you not to use them is a dirty liar who's trying to make you feel bad about yourself. And you should feed them to a lion. The lions are hungry, and they like eating dirty liars who make people feel bad about themselves. That's the truth of the situation. Let's do this all the way around. There's another seat. Little padding. I don't feel too bad about this not being perfect because, again, it's a coloring book. And honestly, I've done some stuff in this coloring book where I'm like, I'm not sure a little kid would understand what that is, even though it is perfectly great illustration. Like it's like some of the best I've done. I'm like, they're not gonna know anyway. I don't know why I'm bothering. For example, I just did those seats in the background. And I don't know why. Because I am totally going to cover that up with this little score pad thingy here. Let me bring it in here like that. And put everything inside. Just delete all these lines that I just drew back out. This is another situation where doing the black and white trick would have come in handy. I forgot to draw on a ball return. That's okay. Boop. I like that. That's pretty good. And then what I can do is I'll do like a counter. I'll do another layer in the back. Way back here. This counter here. Go away, you. I'm gonna put on this layer. I'm gonna do another like little shelf counter here. Like this. And we'll draw some balls. In there. My circle drawing skills are not great tonight. I don't know what's going on. My hand just doesn't want to draw a circle. Probably means I just need to sit down and draw a ton of circles. Get myself back into circle drawing shape. But rather than having another lane over here, we'll do like a ball thing there. And then we'll come to this layer, and again, I'm just going to sketch in much smaller, thinner lines because this is way in the background now. And we'll do a thing there. Shelf coming up behind it. Sign. And I'm going to put on the sign. Shoe. Doll. But not the whole word, just part of the word. So like, if you know, you know. And if you don't, you'll be like, I don't know what this sign's supposed to say. And other people will be like, well, obviously it says shoe rental, weirdo. Have you never been bowling? And some people will be like, no, I've never been bowling. I don't know what shoe rental are. You wear rented shoes? That's disgusting. And they will be right. Even though that is the way bowling works. Oops. And bowling, you wear rented shoes. It's a law. No one likes it. Can't be ignored. Okay. I'm going to turn you back on. I'm just going to work through some of my background stuff here. Just filling it in with white just to make sure everything's nice and solid laid out. Oops, not black. White. There we go. Just making sure all the pieces are kind of clicked together good is kind of the goal here. It'll be fine in a second. Oh, I hope you'll see what I mean when I get there, when I get it done. There's our background, medium range. And then our llama. Actually, down here. Move the llama up a bit and over here, blocking that gap. And duplicate. You back on. And there we go. There is our bowling llama. So that works. That's good. Little bowling llama dude. He looks pretty good there. I might need to put something in this corner. There's a lot of white space that might need to be filled, but I'm not too worried about it at the moment. I think it's fine. And like I said, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I enjoy this. This is a good little llama picture. I'll bring him up to full size there. Just full screen him. Boop. There's our bowling llama. This will go into the coloring book as llama bowling. That just lets me remember the file. And bowling llama. All right, we got a coloring book page done. That's nice. I have no idea. So HIJKLM. I have no idea what I want to do for M. Animals with names start with M. Animals whose names start with M. Manatee, magpie, macaw, Malayan tiger, mandrill, manta ray, mallard, meerkat, macaroni penguin, marmot, moose, macaque, Maine Coon, mole, monkey, Magellanic penguin, Maltese, maned wolf, marmoset, mouse, markhor, Marian iguana, millipede, mink. Ooh, how about if we do a moose? I have this theory. I lived in Montana where there's supposed to be abundant mooses. There's supposed to be moose all over the place in Montana. I've never seen. I don't believe in them. I've seen exactly the same number of Bigfoots as I've seen moose. So, what if we did a moose like conspiracy theorist? Just for the funsies of it. I think that would be a great time. A moose conspiracy theorist. So we'll do like a big long nose thing here. With some big ol' antlers. And like a tinfoil hat. Yeah, sound good? Sound good so far? Tinfoil hat moose? I think moose have kind of like hunched shoulders. So does it give him bad posture? Like this. And then full on like maybe Charlie Day meme. How many knuckles does a moose have? How many fingers does a moose have? Moose have... It looks like moose have like actual hooves. They're a cloven hoof creature. We'll do a cloven hoof. That. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna do the Charlie Day meme. I'm gonna do it full on, and we'll do like a tie. I think I'm gonna have to say M is for Moose, who's been working too hard. What is this Moose's main conspiracy clause? Once again, the only thing that is important is how many fingers I have. It's important to me to be biologically accurate on my animal creature digits. I don't know why that became a sticking point in my brain, but it actually like makes my brain itchy if I don't double check. I don't know what the Moose's conspiracy is going to be, because my conspiracy is that moose don't exist. Like, that's my personal conspiracy. I don't believe moose exist. I've never seen one. I think people who say they exist are part of a conspiracy, a government conspiracy maybe. Do a moose have a tail? It doesn't look, they don't have a little nub tail, so that's good. But I was totally thinking full on like the Charlie Day conspiracy map meme. So maybe we come down and give him a little ranty mouth. We bring his mouth like this. Yeah. This is a moose who's lost a few marbles, although I think we can do better on these antlers here. We'll go a little more cartoony on the antlers. We'll do rounded Bullwinkle-esque antlers here. And maybe, let's see, what do we want a conspiracy to be? We gotta do a conspiracy board. So maybe I'll come over here and we'll like have right in the middle of his little conspiracy board, we'll do a little picture. And maybe we'll do like a Rocky squirrel here. And then we'll just like have a bunch of other cards on the wall that say like we'll go like a I love the Robo Viking. I got my sticker pack. I loved it. I love the Robo Viking. Oh, Sasquatch. Oh, I can put a Sasquatch on here. That's true. I probably should, because I might get in trouble for like making too many Rocky and Bullwinkle references here. And then like there. That's our start to our background. I might actually have to work on that quite a bit off, like come back off stream and do some more here. So let's refine our moose sketch real fast. So we're gonna come here. I'm gonna start with the nose. Oops, I went on this layer. Thank you. Like there. if I didn't know for a fact that there's already a 3-year-old who's really excited to get her hands on this coloring book, I might be tempted to give this moose a cigarette like Charlie Day. I'm not liking this line. I'm gonna redo this line here. This. That. Moose have very flat teeth because they are plant eaters. They are plant eaters. They don't attack whales to eat whales. They attack whales because they're jerks. They think it's funny. Doing very flat teeth here. This little tongue. And then really extend those eyes, I think. Maybe some like bags under the eyes here. This is way more cartoony than any of the other animals in this coloring book have been made so far. But I can't help myself. It's hard for me to make a realistic looking moose because I don't believe in them. As I say, give a little tinfoil hat. Neck. This is a danger of when a project like this takes too long is your art style evolves. So if you spend too much time between pages of, say, a coloring book like this, then the art style changes and they don't match up as well. And I don't want people to think I used AI. Although I guess there are VODs of me drawing just about every page of this coloring book so far. So probably not going to be an issue there. Also, this is something cool. In the most recent update for Adobe Fresco, they added as long as you do not import any assets into the image as you're drawing it, you can, their system will certify that image did not use any generative AI. I thought that was pretty cool. It's like you can actually have a digital imprint in the file that says no generative AI used in making this picture. I think I did these legs backwards. I'm going to try to see if I can find... Yeah. I think I did. We'll go like this. Belly. Around. Still this leg still doesn't look right. What am I doing here that's making these legs look so freaking weird? I'm trying to make a moose that is a quadrupedal creature bipedal. That's without changing its underlying and anatomical structure, and that's never going to work. So what we need to do is start with like a baseline, and then we'll do this. Yeah, that's what we need to do. So now I can come in here, do like this. It's like, you're trying to be too realistic in your moose cartoon. So what do? I draw in a realistic moose leg and then try to force it even more into cartooniness. And it worked. And then so we'll do another over here. This. Actually, this needs to be shrunk. This is too wide. There we go. Again, reasons I like digital art is I can just manipulate the layers if I need to. Redo my sketch without completely redoing my sketch. All right, so there. I love this face. This face is great. Again, way more cartoony, probably, than most of the rest of this coloring book will be, but still just beautiful. And I'm trying to make it look like he's pointing, but still have a hoof. So that's as close as I think I'm going to be able to get there. So there we go. That looks pretty good. I like this. Oh, he still needs nostrils. This definitely has more of a Ren and Stimpy or Camp Lazlo vibe than some of the other art I've done in here. Oh. So Leo, how are you doing tonight? I think I asked that before. Dude, that shirt that you shared in the Discord is badass. I love it. It came out great. And because I recently watched a short YouTube's documentary on Ferngully, it very much, like, that demon reminded me very much of I just had his name in my head. The pollution demon in Ferngully. Voiced by Tim Curry. I mean, he's pretty famous. It's not every animated kids movie where the villain basically has an orgasm while having sex with a giant choppy machine. I totally cut the wrong side of the vinyl. My sticker cutter is actually a vinyl cutter machine. And I have never actually tried to do a t-shirt. My niece has a t-shirt press and all of that stuff. And we've talked about doing them before. I just never actually have, so what we talked about doing was making shirts for the market. Not to sell, but to wear to market. I am a pretty big fan of Tim Curry. I love the meme that's like, we can tell how old you are based on where you know Tim Curry from. And I was like, what if I know Tim Curry primarily from his role in Home Alone 2? It's like, is there anyone that actually falls into an age bracket like that? Because here's the truth is, like, I would fall into that age bracket, except for I was allowed to watch the movie It when I was way too young to actually watch that movie. The mini series, not the recent theatrical release. Um, you know, where Tim Curry played Pennywise the Clown, aka the good one. Oh, I haven't watched the new movie at all. I tell people I don't do horror very well because I'm a big wimp. Do a third. I make those pupils really tiny. I watched one recently where he was the devil, maybe Legend. Yes, in Legend he plays a demon with like full on red skin, big horns. Tom Cruise plays Jack as the hero. They fight with swords made of unicorn horns. And of course, I was a theater kid. So like Rocky Horror Picture Show was a big part of my life at one point. That's just the nature of being a theater kid. I'm drawing this tinfoil hat, and I've already had people all week long this week making Plants vs. Zombie references on my daily zombie shorts. And now I'm drawing basically, but the only way I know how to draw a vector illustration of a tinfoil hat is from Crazy Dave in Plants vs. Zombies. I actually had someone post on my TikTok today accusing my channel of being like secret advertising for Plants vs. Zombies 3. And I was like, well, if that's what you want to believe, but it's not the same at all. I can't stop you from being a crazy conspiracy theorist. All right. Every time I zoom out and see this face again, I go, yeah, this is good work. I'm doing something important today. I'm doing the Lord's work. Oops. Let's do. There we go. Wow. 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 Oh, this might have to become a sticker or a poster also. Like this moose with some more moose or fake propaganda. Just this moose pointing to a sign that says moose are fake or moose aren't real. And then the words teach the controversy. Point these fingers so that the other hand's pointy fingers make sense more. Come down here. Like so. Thicker lines. Wow, that looks good. My artist friend told me to get crazy amount of use out of my Cricut. You do. I will say I was unaware of how much stuff these vinyl cutters can do when I bought mine. And I use it for all kinds of stuff now. I made greeting card separators. Oh, Yeti Detective, wait till you see when I zoom back out on this image. You're gonna love it, I think. It's a moose conspiracy theorist. It's a moose doing the Charlie Day meme. I think right at this moment, this might be my new favorite illustration. Although, if I'm being completely honest, usually my most recent illustration is either my favorite or one I hate. Yeah, I was just saying, I think in addition to being in the coloring book, I might have to turn this illustration into a print where he's pointing to a sign that says moose aren't real. We gotta teach the controversy, guys. Big park ranger, big park forest wants you to believe in moose. But we know the truth. Moose are a lie perpetuated by the forest industry to keep Americans out of the national parks so that they can be harvested for all of their phosphates. I figured out I can use the vinyl cutter to cut templates for custom and metal piping, like to fit together, like cut them out, mark the metal, and cut it, and then weld it. Yeah. It's like, I don't know which Cricut you have, but if it's got all of the attachments like my Silhouette, I can get an attachment for my Silhouette that will use the like cut leather or balsa wood. It has one that was just a pencil, so you could use the CNC to draw onto something. And I know there are levels of Cricut that have those features also. So here's the thing we learned. I did because I looked it up. Moose definitely have hooves, and therefore do not have knuckles. Do with that information what you will. Oh, I love it. This is a great I'm so happy with how this is turning out. It is definitely giving some pretty strong Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, 90s Nickelodeon era vibes, I feel. And I gotta say, if I can't draw like Bruce Timm, I definitely want to draw like 90s era Nickelodeon cartoons. Like those are the two big influences on my life. Um, Now neither of those shows I just mentioned are Klasky Shupo shows, but honestly, that's Klasky Shupo, man. That is where the biggest influences on my preferences in animation come from. And I don't mean just the Nickelodeon shows. I liked Duckman. I know I'm a weirdo, and that's a rare bird that even remembers the show Duckman. But I loved Duckman. I totally bought the wrong one though. I can cut 2 feet max. If I got the big one, I can cut 12 feet at a time with the roll. That is the Silhouette Cameo Full 4 has the roll on it. So you can do a roll of vinyl. Oh. Yeah. Yes, I am very happy with this. Okay, let's draw the background. So here's the thing. My original conspiracy theory, as I was drawing this conspiracy theory background board here, is I was gonna do Rocky the squirrel on the conspiracy board. And I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to do that. So Leo recommended earlier that maybe it's a Sasquatch based conspiracy. And maybe that's where I'll go. Maybe we'll do more Sasquatchy conspiracy than squirrel based conspiracy. But we can actually hide our moose for now, and they just work strictly on the back. What about his tie? It has to be something weird. I don't know. What do we want to put on his tie? You'll put like a all-seeing eye pyramid tie. Maybe a little like spaceship up here. Oh, something like that, maybe. Maybe not. Let's try. Let's see. Let's clear this layer. What if we did? Oh, yes. You like that? Okay. Okay. Let's draw it in where you can actually see what it is, though. So we'll come in here. Like this. And then I'll put the little spaceship dude up here. I feel like this is the type of detail that like I would leave out of the like a normal coloring book would leave this out. And then like you would have one of those YouTube channels. It's like professional artist plays with a coloring book. And then they draw in this alien spaceship. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm having a lot of fun working on this coloring book, and I know I've sold at least one already. So oh, I have a 3-year-old girl who is excitedly waiting for this coloring book to get done. I don't know why it keeps changing the ink color back. It's weird. It didn't do that before my update. Okay, good. I was like, I hope I drew those on the same layer. All right, there we go. And then I will go ahead, while we're here, I remembered an easier way to do all of this. If I come in here and I go magic wand on the outside and then invert that. Bloop. Yay. There we go. All right. Time to draw the conspiracy board. So I'm going to bring this way down. I don't really any of the details here other than generally the way this here is shows me kind of where I know if I draw something there, it will be visible in the final. And anything in this white space over here will be in behind the moose. Come in here, we got this layer. And we'll just start with a Sasquatch face. That's where we're gonna start. We're gonna start with Sasquatch face. Face. So let's see. We got like a pretty standard. Looks like people think Sasquatch has like a monkey nose. And then brow ridge. Like Chewbacca beard. Yeah, I like this. I don't like what I'm doing so far. Redo some of this. Okay. I'm going to center it on this line so I have a nice centered line. Chewbacca beard. Is my Bigfoot Harry from Harry and the Hendersons? Maybe. And then if we give it a horn, it becomes a Yeti. That's an important distinction. So we probably shouldn't give it a horn if we're making it a Bigfoot. But I like this little fuzzy beard face here. And then like big round ears. I am going to get rid of the horn. He's not a Yeti. He's a Sasquatch. He's a Bigfoot. Thank you for respecting the Yeti Sasquatch dichotomy. Of course. Of course I would. It's important to remember cultural differences. You know, they're completely different parts of the world. One of them is real and one of them is a myth. over here. We'll do a sign over here. And maybe this sign will say something like that. String over here. I just like that this says pilot. It made sense when it was Rocky that I was drawing, because Rocky is an aviator. But like now it doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever. And I like that. Like, it's a conspiracy. It doesn't have to make sense. It's his conspiracy board about Bigfoot. And then up here, I want this to overlap. And maybe instead of having a little Sasquatch up here, this is where we'll put in like a flying squirrel. Although that particular thing right there is looking a little bit more like stigmata of the eye. You know, the slappy squirrel internet meme. Maybe we'll do something like that. Turn that back on. Yeah, that works. That's a pretty cool background, I think. The question you always have to ask yourself is, would it be fun to color? That's the question that we have to keep in mind. And I think this would be fun to color in. So that's gonna be my background layer here. We'll just go ahead and ink that in. And just come down here. I like big pig nose here. I think it looks great. I'm actually going to bring these, oops, want this to curve around a bit more. Like so. This doesn't have to be a super great drawing of a Sasquatch here, because we have to assume the moose did it. And as we know, the moose has hooves, not fingers. So the fact that the moose can draw at all is impressive. It doesn't have to be super advanced drawing. I'm actually going to make the pupils bigger so he's more menacing. More menacing. I am the bad guy here. Yeah, this is nice. This is fun. This is a fun little drawing. Like I said, I'm really happy with how the moose turned out. It's fun when you remember that moose aren't real, so you don't have to worry about realism in your drawing. Then you can just do what you do. And I think I'm gonna give this guy a little like almost tusks, maybe. Like this. Now we'll just leave that colored. And then we'll do like a little paper crinkle here. Over here. Also, that is not a squirrel tail. That's like a beaver tail. That's more like a squirrel tail. These are goggles, not eyes. These are eyes. And then ear sticking out there. And I put this little dude on his own layer so I can move him down here after I drew him. And collapse it down in the layer. Merge down. Boop. And then same thing here. We'll just draw in this little rabbit guy again. Real fast, like. Also, what I like about the fact that these are going to be entirely black and white sketches is I don't have to worry about like making sure all these lines are closed in, because I don't have to worry about coloring them in myself. Boop, 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 boop. And merge you down. And then we'll come over here. And write it. The human world which is really just a joke that a handful of people will get. People who have actually seen my art prints. They're like a joke for people who pay attention to my weird conspiracy theory stuff. This one's just a question mark. Alright. Alright, and then I'm just going to draw in little push pins. Let's not put one there. Let's just have it loop down around here. I think in my head, I'm like this moose is not only trying to figure out what the Bigfoot is, but also thinks the Bigfoot might be DB Cooper. That's the headcanon I've got going on for this illustration. Alright, I'm just going to slide in a little floor line, little horizon line. Boop. There we go. There's our drawing. There's our moose conspiracy theorist. I think I'm actually going to resize him a little bit so I get a little bit more of that background image. There we go. I like this. This is a good image. Oh man. And moose conspiracy theorist. So we've done this moose conspiracy theorist tonight. And we did this llama going bowling. So those are the two what's the word I'm looking for here? Sheets, coloring sheets, pages of the coloring book. So there's 2 more pages done. At this rate, we'll be done in like 4 more months. It'll be awesome. I am, though, it is 9:30. I normally would go to 10, but I gotta admit, I'm a little tired, little knackered after the market today. I actually came home and took a nap, and I still am dragging a bit. So it's 9:30 my time. We got 2 full illustrations done today. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like 2 illustrations in 90 minutes is a lot of work. Especially when one is as awesome as this moose. And this moose is definitely 1 billion% going to become its own art outside of the coloring book. So, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me, watching me doodle some coloring book pages. I will be back on Monday night at 8 p.m. doing some more coloring book pages. Don't forget that there is currently a vote available over on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Blue Sky for next week's sticker of the week between 2 chill chairs, a relaxed mimic, and a vibing recliner. Get your votes in. Vote early, vote often. Vote strong, vote steady. Strong arm people into voting your way. Make them go to the social media posts and interact with them. Just literally grab them, hold them down at their desk if you have to. Make them do it. It's important to you that it happens. And if you would like to get your hands on these sweet stickers of mine, like this week's sticker of the week, the sugar shark here, the gummy shark, you can head over to patreon.com/TacoVikingStudios and sign up for the sticker tier or higher. Early adopters, the first 100 people to sign up for the sticker tier and the first 50 people to sign up for the print tier, get a reduced price, and we'll get all of the promotional stickers from the market in addition to their monthly sticker pack. So it's a pretty sweet deal. Honestly, it's a pretty sweet deal. So you might want to do that. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a great night. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. The rain will be settling in here soon, which will be nice for the rest and the sleep. Again, I'll be back on Monday. Remember to stay safe this weekend. Make wise decisions. Stay dry if it's raining in your place like it will be here. Stay cool, it's summer, heat's coming. But most importantly, as always, remember to stay weird. I've been Matt Brotherton. Taco Viking Studio is where you can buy my art, TacoVikingStudios.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful night.